morning, everyone. Happy New Year. I would like to call this meeting to order. Thank you for joining us during our weekly hybrid MRS breakfast meetings. My name is Pauline Lam, and I am your January program chair. Please stand, and we welcome our 2024 Treasurer, Jeff Huang, to lead us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Jeff.
Yeah, please rise. Put your right hand over your heart. Let's look at the flag and let's get started. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, and please be seated. And now we welcome Joseph Haggerty, Orange Coast title, for our inspirational quote. Joseph.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So it's that time of year again when we need to set our intentions, make goals, and create resolve for positive change in our life. In a world where we have a lot of negativity, which we're all drawn to, right? In our community, in politics, and even in our industry. And the negativity can be debilitating, right? So inactivity is the greatest opponent for success. So I have a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., the great. If you cannot fly, you must run. If you cannot run, you must walk. If you cannot walk, you must crawl. But whatever you do, you must keep moving forward.
Thank you. Let's keep moving forward. Thank you, Joseph. A little about me. And as you know, I love education and I always in the classroom. So in the past 21 years, I have earned CRS, which is a Certified Residential Specialist, CIPS, Certified International Property Specialist, and GRI RE Masters grading. And the latest one is the At Home with Diversity. This is this classes is toward the designation by NAR. I'm so honored. I'm so happy I achieved it. And I want to encourage all of you toward this goal too. And in 2024, my utmost goal is complete my CCIM designation, get designated, and wish I can do that, okay? And I also want to encourage you do together. If you are a member and would like to make announcements, please fill out an announcement form located on my left. Return completed form to Belen. Thank you. A few housekeeping tips. All participants on Zoom will be muted upon entry on the MS breakfast meeting. And should you have a question or a comment, please remember to enter it into the chat box. Please remember join us weekly as we have our hybrid MS breakfast meeting every Thursday at 9 a.m. As always, this meeting is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel, West San Gabriel Valley Realtors. Please follow WSGVR social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also watch all our pre-recorded video on YouTube. Today's agenda consists of our affiliate spotlight, Xavier Figueroa, LA Trash Junkers, and our special speaker, Mr. Phil Atwan, Senior President, Exchange Resources. Just a reminder that to be eligible for today's drawing, you must be a WSGVR member and be in person at the association. We will be having an attendance drawing, 2 WSGVR store gift certificate drawing, and 50-50 raffle. Today, our affiliate spotlight and introduction will be brought to you by Affiliates Committee Chair Brandon Spransky, First American NHD, Vice Chair Derek Talbert, First Eye Management Services. Take it away, Xavier.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Slide, please. I'm Xavier with LA Trash Junkers. Slide. So I'm the oldest of 5 siblings, and I always bring this up. We're a Gold Star family. My brother Gabriel was a combat medic, and in 2007, he was killed in action in Iraq. I bring that up because that helped shape me. And a year later, I ended up in the Marine Corps. I was an F-18 mechanic. After 5 years, I got out. I worked in aerospace, and right now I enjoy baking. I'm 2 years alcohol-free, and I'm learning German and French, and I speak Spanish and English. Slide. My wife, Megan, she's the strongest person I know. She was born with a liver disease, in 2017, she got a liver transplant. The reason I say she's the strongest person I know is because she put herself through full-time work and full-time school and got her bachelor's degree, all while being sick. But now she's doing better, and our goal is in the future to open up a thrift store and be able to help out families going through the transplant process. Slide. These are fun pictures. That's our on a wedding day, us when we're 18, our pets, and then us as little kids. Slide. So we support, we like doing charity work. Last year, our goal was to give $10,000 to charity. We were able to do $7,700 of value and services we gave away. And we raised $3,100 and hauled away 18 tons of trash. Slide. So we do junk removal. These are some photos. We separate the big items from the trash, recyclables, and donatable items. We service all the San Gabriel Valley, and call us. We can give you information and use us as a source of information and resources. Slide, please. We do junk items, appliances, mattresses, furniture removal, and we do full property, residential and commercial. Slide. Some past pictures of cleanouts. Slide. Sometimes we suit up because it's really dirty. Slide. And some more pictures. Slide. And we can get to the video. Things we don't take away are the hazmat, paint, chemical, and oils, but we can help with everything else. And this is our video.
As a Marine F-18 mechanic, pilots and crew entrusted Xavier Figueroa with their lives. That hard-won trust is a legacy he humbly carries to LA Trash Junkers, taking great pride in the trust their customers have for them. Our mission is to make your life clutter-free, clearing junk that burdens you or your business and giving you the space to reinvigorate yourself or your ventures going forward, whatever they may be. No job is too big or too small. We get you. Whenever and as often as you need us, we will answer the call.
Thank you very much, everyone. Xavier with LA Trash Junkers.
Thank you. So we will have a big support from Xavier when you get a listing, right? Please remember to support our affiliates with your transaction. We will now have our affiliates introduction for today. All paid affiliates present today, please line up at the front now. No promotion, no announcement, and this is a morning greeting only. We will begin with affiliates in person. Please walk off toward the door after your greeting. First.
Good morning, Teresa Lam from Corinthian Title Company.
Good morning, everyone. Derek Talbert from Bird's Eye Management Services. You have a great day.
Good morning, everyone. Sage Gomez with my NHG. Have a great day.
Good morning, Judy Chow, Loan Officer. Have a great week.
Good morning. This is your Feng Shui Master, Master Alex. Thank you.
Good morning. This is Ken Shen with Transcobalt Private Lending. Have a great day.
Good morning. My name is Sam Yu, and I'm with Primerica Mortgage.
Good morning. I'm Nancy Chan, Lawyer's Title. We were supposed to dance, so.
Good morning, everyone. Chris Hahn, Guild Mortgage. Have an awesome day.
Good morning, everyone. Joe Haggerty with Orange Coast Title. Keep moving forward.
Good morning, Sue Chong with Akaza Management.
Good morning, Melody Xu with Atlantic Escrow.
Good morning, everyone. Jacqueline Xu from Champion Escrow.
Me again, Xavier with LA Trash Junkers.
Good morning, everyone here and on Zoom. I'm Lucia Tam, representing CARPA, Chinese American Real Estate Professionals Association. Have a great week.
Good morning, everyone. Maria Howard with Old Republic Home Protection. Have a fantastic day.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Angie Tang, First American Title. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Esther Chow with HSBC Bank. Have a good day.
Hello, happy Thursday. Lena Sankari, Home Loan Officer at US Bank Pasadena.
Good morning, everybody. This is James Chen, your good neighbor State Farm agent, City of Walnut. Have a great day.
Good morning, Margaret Say with GMCC, your mortgage lender. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Yolanda Martinez Arenas, WFG National Title Company. Have an awesome day.
Good morning, everyone. Tiffany Wenzel from JP Morgan Private Bank. Have a great day, guys.
I'm too short, so I have to move it down. Good morning, everyone. Are you excited? Yeah. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I can see your face. You're so excited. I'm excited now. Oh, no. I'm gonna leave it to Brendan. Thanks. I'm Janet Lowe with ACG Funding. I supposed to be the last, but Brendan said he want to be the last. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Jenna Tai from Mutual Escrow.
And I'm the caboose, Brandon Savransky with First American NHD. Everyone have a fantastic day. Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
Last but not least, David Tran with Home Warranty. Be nice to me because I have your winning number.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you. Let's, next, we welcome affiliates who are joining us virtually. First, John Wax, Snap NHD. Good morning, John.
Good morning, everyone. John Wax with Snap NHD Natural Hazard Disclosure Reports. Have a productive day and a super upcoming weekend. Thank you. My information's in the chat.
Thank you. Next, Mark Wu, AMS Insurance. Judy Chow, already here. Thank you. We are happy to include Caravan pitching to our hybrid Emirates breakfast meeting. If you would like to pitch your listing, you must go to www.wsgbr.org. Click on Caravan request form, fill it out, and submit no later than Tuesday midnight of the week you want to pitch. Today, we have one listing from Tom Zing, Universal Elite Realty. The floor is yours, Tom.
Good morning, everyone. This is Tom Zeng with Universal Elite Realty. I have a property for a lease in Aliso Viejo. This is a $2.15 million worth mansion. It is 3,715 square feet and 6-bedroom, 5-bedroom. This is fully furnished. It's very suitable for traveling executive or traveling nurse, doctors, and whatnot. 4 out of the 6 bedrooms are fully furnished, as well as all the common areas. It even comes with a piano. We are looking for a long-term lease for over a year at $8,000, or we can negotiate for shorter-term lease at a higher price. If there's any people who are here for just 3, 4, 5 months, this would be a very suitable home. It is vacant and ready to be viewed. Just text me your business card, and anytime you like to see it, it's ready to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Now it's open pitching. If you did not register for Caravan, but have an active listing in the MLS that you would like to pitch, please come up now, pitch your listing, and please do not discuss commission. Do we have anyone have open pitching? No, thank you. Good. Introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everybody. Aaron Monza. I have one listing just listed. It's a 30,000 square feet warehouse in the city of Ontario. That is at $2 a square foot. So about $20 a year per month. And I also have a new listing in the city of Montebello, retail commercial, 3 units. fully leased with a residential unit in the back, and that's asking 1.25. Thank you.
Thank you so much. At this time, I would like to introduce our special speaker today, Phil Atwan. Phil Atwan serves as a co-founder, senior vice president, and officer for Exchange Resources, Inc., one of the largest independent qualified intermediary accommodator in the United States. Phil began his real estate career in sales with Safeco Title Insurance Company in 1982 and later to Chicago Title in 1986. He graduated into the 1031 tax deferred exchange industry in the 1998 and the co-founder of Exchange Resources, Inc. in 1999 till now. Phil speaks regularly at Board of Realtor, continuing educational function, training meeting, investment seminar over the past 26 years. And now please help me to give a very, very welcome to our special speaker, Phil Atwan.
Thank you, Pauline. Did you know she's an expert professional dancer? Did everybody know that? So here she goes.
I
What?
will introduce my dream next week.
There you go.
Stay
I better
tuned.
come back and watch it. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. I guess it's still okay to say that, right? Yeah, good. How many of you think it's going to be a good year? You know what's going to make it even better? Everybody working. You know, I live in Whittier up in the hills, right next to Rose Hill Cemetery. You know, there's very quiet neighbors I have up there. People just dying to get in that place, you know, but except on 10/31, and that's Halloween night. And then I hear from everybody. All right. Sorry about the humor or the lack thereof. Basically, I noticed on the hills, if you don't plant anything, weeds will grow naturally, right? You don't belong there, do you, Rose Hills? No. They sleep. They pay the rent, and nobody's complaining, except on 10/31. Anyway, basically, what I wanted to talk about today is if you don't plant, you get back weeds. If you do plant, you get to choose the seed you want, you get back harvest. It's all in our hands, what we're going to do in 2024. If you want more in 24, you got to plant. And those seeds are called relationships and information. And that kind of leads us where we are today. Today, we're going to talk about some of the changes and what to expect in 2024, at least in my industry of the 1031 tax deferred exchange. And before I begin on that, I was just talking to Yin, and Yin mentioned something about what's happening with the DST area. When somebody says DST, you know, it sounds like a sexually transmitted disease. DST, somebody got a disease, I don't know. But the bottom line is, that wasn't very funny, was it? There are two kinds of DSTs out there. One is called a Delaware Statutory Trust. So remember the state, Delaware, then statutory like law and trust. And then there's a deferred sales trust. We strongly recommend you rethink the deferred sales trust. Very few attorneys will touch it. They claim they have all this proof that the government will allow for it. I haven't seen it. So the bottom line is beware of the deferred sales trust, because that's when they convert your sale proceeds into stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and all these other things. And then in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you get it back and you don't have to pay any tax. Good luck. A Delaware statutory trust is when, for example, if you can't afford personally to get a property, like a commercial property, like a Chick-fil-A property where that's your tenant, or Starbucks or Trader Joe's or whatever it happens to be. The bottom line is This allows you to buy a fractionalized interest in a 1031 exchange, both in and then later on when you go out of it. Those are allowable. How are they? Well, you know, you're probably going to get a little less in terms of income, but there's no management. So the people that tend to want to go into that are people who look like me, you know, like white hair, snowstorm. And the bottom line is they just don't want to be in the management business, but they're looking for consistent income and security of their equity and not pay capital gains taxes. So that in a nutshell is what it is. And since they have me on a hook here, I'm going to come back and do a big commercial thing for you. And so maybe I get to see some of you, we can get more into that. But for today, just know that the DSTs are alive. Be careful, not all companies are good companies. There are too many people who've been in for a very short period of time who have not passed the longevity test, which means some of the products they're selling is more in their interest than it is in your interest. And one more thing I'll say about it, a DST will help you get a listing for somebody who does not want to manage anymore, but does not want to pay taxes either. And that is an opportunity to bring something in that they may want to relinquish the management business of, for example, large apartment building. Okay, let's talk about this. First question I keep getting. Are 1031s exchange going away in 2024? The answer is forget about it. However, the president and the White House in their 2024 budget for this year requested that they cut and cap exchanges to only $500,000. I am glad to say the Congress has not passed that. And I do not think they will, because just 2 years ago, remember, they were trying to either eliminate exchange, and they're trying to do that, and they wanted to raise the capital gains cap rate from 20% to almost 40%. So thankfully, I haven't seen anything from the government that will indicate that they will pass something like this, because it's going to do what? Look at the bottom. The 1031 exchange still remains very valuable to the US economy because people are selling and then they're buying. And when they sell, they have to pay commissions, escrow, title insurance, transfer taxes, recording fees, 1031 exchange fees. They non-recurring closing costs to sell the property. All of that money goes into the economy. And when people make that kind of money, guess what happens? We pay taxes. And then we go out and spend it. And that stimulates the economy. It keeps it going. So I don't see this happening. So this should be a good year. What's going to happen in the future? I don't know. But I might have a slide that's going to talk about it. Next slide. Thank you, Lynn. This is a voting year. We're going to be choosing the House, the Senate leaders, and the presidency. How is that going to affect the 1031 exchange? And the answer is probably the ones that win versus the ones that lose. So it's really important to keep in mind that in 2025, there's going to be a sunset provision to estate taxes and capital gains rates. You know what that means? Let me tell you. You know what estate tax is? That means you die. You become a neighbor of mine in Rose Hills. But what happens is when you die today, what is it, like 12 million roughly? That when you pass away, everything above $12 million, you'll pay between 30 to about 45% tax. That's a lot of money. That's the sunset provision, I think it goes back all the way down from 12 million. What is it, 2 or 3 million? Anything above that, you will pay between 30 and 45% tax. This is really important. And only 3 things can happen. Number 1, whoever gets voted in, you think this is an important election? Whoever gets voted in, the House, the Senate, and the White House. This is what's going to happen. When the 2025 comes and the sunset provision comes in, and there's no more of this particular tax situation, they can do nothing and let it go back to the way it was. Capital gains rates will go back up, and so will the estate tax levels. Number two, they can vote on a better tax situation or a worse one. So those are really well, that's actually two in the last one. So that's really the two options. We don't know, but this voting year will count a lot for the US economy and our competitiveness to be able to make it grow by getting more people to do business by selling and buying. Make sense? Next slide. Here are the current tax rates today. Long-term capital gain. You know what the word long-term means? It means you held title for how long? 1 year plus 1 day or longer. When you do that, your long-term capital gains rate for the average person is going to be around 15% of the gain. But if you're making a lot of money, you know, the government has always said, everybody has to pay their fair share. So what they do is because you make more money, they raise your percentage from 15 to 20. They didn't talk to me, but apparently. Number two, if your gain is over $200,000, that's when they launch a second tax on you, and that's called the medical health care. There's two other names for it that actually depicts what it really is. The Affordable Health Care Act, I'm not sure who it's affordable to, but also known as Obamacare. So that every time you sell stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or any kind of real estate, including your principal residence, your second home, your vacation home, or any investment or rental properties, and the gain's over 200,000, you get to pay an additional 3.8% to the program. Number three, California is the number one. We're number one tax state in the country. I don't want to be known for that. But the problem is that the rates today are going to average between 9.3, probably a little closer to 10 to 12, but a cap of 13.3 when you sell your properties. And the bottom line is that California, did you know that we're broke? No, I'm serious. I'm not trying to make anybody laugh. We're deficit spending. You know those monies that we had? All gone. They fixed the homeless problem. Supposedly, right? And we're bleeding profusely. And what happened a few years ago during COVID in 2020, you know what? California that was bleeding profusely, you know what they did? Shh, in private, but it got in the newspapers. They tried to raise the state tax from a cap of 13.3 to between 16 and 18%. And we're already number one. So this is probably going to come up. They're already beginning to talk about it because California is losing a lot of money. Do you know why? Because all the rich people are leaving. They're not paying taxes here anymore. It used to be 4% of the people were paying 50% of the taxes. Not anymore. They're leaving. So guess what? Guess who has to pull that up? You and me. Lastly, there's a recapture tax of 25% when you sell an investment property. Whether you took the depreciation or not, the government says it doesn't matter. If you were allowed to depreciate it, you get to pay an additional 25% of all the allowable depreciation. So if you had a modest amount of depreciation of $400,000, 25% of $400,000 is $100,000. Now you get to contribute an additional $100,000, 25%. Aren't you glad the government is looking out for our best interest? Next slide. If you didn't already know this, you can exchange out of California into any state. However, California tried to block that 3 times over the last 10, 15 years. Each time the IRS said, sorry, it's a national tax program for all investors in the United States of America. So California was forced to continue to allow investors who want to leave the state to go to other places. Now, why are they leaving the state? We're the number 1 tax state in the country. And number 2, they don't treat tenants like they do landlords. Honestly, folks, the landlords are the bad guys now as far as the government's concerned. All the rights are going to the tenant. I just was just talking to somebody else. They're having a heck of a time trying to get rid of their property. A squatter went in and he's got a gun. He can't get in there. And guess who's got the rights? The squatter or the owner of the property? So that's why they're leaving. So what happens is, so California had to do something because they wanted to track everybody who was taking the exchange out of the state. And if you look at our flag, do we have a California state flag here? I don't know if we do. If you did, you would see a picture of a bear, right? Our mascot. The bear has a claw. What California will do is they'll claw back after you exchange, which means they're going to get their money back once you dispose of the property in a taxable sale. But if you do another 1031 exchange, they can't get to it. And if you have your properties in a trust, or your trust is the shareholder of your LLCs, and when you pass away, the basis steps up to the fair market value of the date of death, California then gets nothing. Watch out for the California clawback. It has to be filed every single year. If you don't, they'll claw back. Next, can a non-resident foreigner do a 1031 exchange? I get that question quite a bit. The answer is yes, but there's a problem. But they'll need to get number one, some kind of a tax ID number, a social security number, EIN, TIN. Number two, they're going to have to obtain an 8288B form, which is a waiver certificate from the IRS. So they have to apply for it and have the IRS approve the waiver certificate. And guess what? Once you're in escrow, then you can apply for this thing. But the problem is it takes between 6 months to a year and a half to get that. And if you're in a 1031 exchange, that's not going to cut it. So the bottom line is you can close concurrently, and that could help you. Or you can bring in the 15% that escrow will withhold and give it to escrow. So the money that comes out of the sale will go into the acquisition, into the accommodator and into the acquisition, and the 3 1/3% for California. That's really the only way around it. Or your clients will pay taxes. So it's not a matter if they can or can't. It's a matter of can they have a successful exchange, but they'll have to bring in money to do that. Make sense? Later on, they'll get a refund from the government after they file the tax returns and show them they did everything. But that could be a year or two down the road. So they're going to have to float money to do that. Next slide, please. Why are investors continuing to exchange? I've been very busy lately, thank the Lord. I'm very grateful for that. Because investors are still looking for ways to create more front doors, more doors that will pay rent to them each month. When you diversify your equity, instead of putting it all in one property, you can put it into multiple properties with multiple doors to create cash coming in. Number two, when the market, by the way, has the market really crashed and burned like everybody said it was going to? You know what's helping us right now? Lack of inventory. That's keeping it up. And I don't see that changing for a while.
No electronic transmitting equipment other than electronic.
Okay. So appreciation and diversification, because market rates are going to, markets will appreciate again. I know I've been doing this since 1982. I've seen the interest rate go from 21% to 18.5%, all the way down to 7.5%. Bad joke. What, 2.5? The whole thing is markets change constantly. Right now I'm wearing a sweater, but that's not going to be the case in another couple of months. It's going to be hot. I'll be back to my polo shirts again. Seasons change. Market changes. But in California, it always keeps going up. Even though it goes down, it surpasses the previous high. That's why investors are exchanging, because they can make money on more doors. They can have more properties going up together instead of putting all your equity in one property. And there's lots of tax benefits on your income tax when you buy and do an exchange and even buy up. Next slide. How are investors re-leveraging? Well, by selling, but also refinancing. But the problem with refinancing now, rates are a little higher. You know, when the rates go up, what goes down? Profitability, right? Because they have to service that debt each month, right? And it's hurting financial return for the investor. Next, exchanging it to other states that gives an investor a higher cap rate. People are leaving. I'm not kidding you. We're one of the largest independent 1031 exchange companies in the United States. My book of business is huge. Let me tell you something. Since COVID, 2020, I have counted roughly 25% or more of every exchange leaving the state. For what? They want more balance. They want to work with tenants, or the tenant doesn't get all the right. And number two, they can get higher cap rates, higher rate of return. So when they go to other places, their money will actually work harder for them in that property. That makes sense? That's why they're doing that. Next slide. Which states, everybody keeps asking me this question, so I thought I'd put it on this. Which states are investors running to? They're supposed to be on top of the horses, but I didn't see them. So, Florida, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, Montana, Idaho, and Ohio. Those are good states. My wife and I are investing in Ohio. I'm not kidding. You can buy a nice single family rental between $190,000 and $400,000. And guess what's happening in Ohio? Businesses, tech businesses are going there. And they have employment opportunity there. These where these investors are going. I know I only have a limited amount of time, so I'm going to try to get this thing finished. Next slide. What's a 1031 tax deferred exchange? It's just a sale and a purchase. I keep telling that. People get nervous. I don't know how to do a 1031 exchange. It's not too bad. It's just a sale and it's a purchase. What makes it a 1031 exchange is that it has to be an investment property to defer capital gains. It's not tax-free. It's tax deferred. And the government supports that. Since when? 1921. Congress passed this thing to stimulate the economy so you can create more income, appreciation, tax write-offs into newer, better locations and new, better properties. What am I seeing for 2024? Just like I saw last year. They're looking to get, a lot of them want to get out of LA County. They're going to other counties, especially businesses like with industrial buildings, warehouses, because they treat you better than LA County. I'm glad Jeffrey Prang isn't in here right now. But they do. Number two, if they're not leaving the counties, going to other places, they're leaving the state. Where can I go in a 1031 exchange? Anywhere in the country. Can I go outside of the country? No. It has to be domestic to domestic exchanges. Is there an exception? Yes. The exception is a U.S. territory. In some cases, like Guam, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, those type of U.S. territories. But not everyone qualifies for it. They have to talk to their CPA. But don't worry, your CPA doesn't know anything about this. So they're just going to guess. Pretty sad. I speak to the CPAs on this, and a lot of them don't. I'm like going, they're asking me questions. And I said, wait a minute. You're charging $350, $400 an hour, and I'm giving you this information? Maybe I should get half of it. I don't. Next slide. But it has to be an exchange into like-kind investment property. So if I'm selling a condo that I'm renting out and I decide to buy vacant commercial land, is that like-kind? Yes. Why? Because like-kind is a sale of investment property into the purchase of investment property. Can I hold vacant land and hope that it will appreciate? Yeah, it's like-kind. If I'm selling any kind of rental or business use property, you can't buy a personal residence. You can't buy a second home. You can't buy a vacation. It has to be for either rent or investment anywhere in the USA. Next slide. This is a form that I really think you should use. Escrow would actually appreciate this too. This is your zip form. It's called the SXA zip form. S stands for seller, intent to exchange addendum. You know, when you open up your laptop or whatever and you're going online and you put it into the MLS, right? And you have a place called the agent's private remarks. You know that? So what happened? Nobody taking listings? Okay. Anyway, so the bottom line is that when you do that, you can put down in there seller to do a 1031 exchange, buyer to cooperate at no cost to the buyer, but that's not the contract. That's just the listing. This is, when you get a contract going, an RPA, put this in there for two reasons. Number one, people don't know to do an exchange. You know, when they go through the 593 form, you know what they mark on item number 10? No, I'm not doing a 1031 exchange. And then they close the escrow and then they call me up and say, we need you to set it up. And we go back and look, you said you weren't going to do it, or you didn't indicate that you would. It has to be set up before escrow closes. This form will help you do that. The second thing this form does, and when you do a 1031 exchange, how much time do you have? Looking at the clock. How much time do you have? 45 days to identify. You think you're going to find something in 45 days where there's hardly any inventory there? Guess what you can put into this number 4 thing? They already have it in there, but you can modify it. You can put contingency language in there. You know what the contingency language is? My sale is, I'm going to close under 60 days or 45 days or whatever it is you want. But I reserve the option to extend escrow contingent upon me finding a property, if you want, approving an inspection report, and if you want, approving a title report. So now I have no more contingencies. I'll drop the contingencies, or I'll go to the end of the extension of those contingencies. And then I have another 45 days. Make sense? That's the way to do it. In this market, you have to, or you got to do a reverse exchange. Next slide, please. Speaking of reverse exchange, can I close a purchase first? Now, the government really doesn't care when you open escrow. They don't. They care when you close escrows. In fact, last time I checked, escrow officers care when you close escrow. Realtors care when you close escrow. Title people care when you close escrow. Nobody gets paid until you close escrow. But the bottom line is, so the government says if you have to close a purchase first, in this market, best way to go. Because of inventory, or if opportunity knocks on your front door and you find the right property, right location, decent price, you want to jump on it? But somebody's going to beat you to it if you don't secure it. The government will let you, through us, set up a reverse exchange where you close the purchase first. Now that assumes two things. Number one, you have to have what? Money. You either go in all cash.
You have to have what?
Money. That must be the Zoom that's talking. Okay. You either have to have money, honey, or you have to have cash and a lender, swing loan, bridge loan, line of credit, hard money, whatever, to secure to go into it. We have to set it up as a reverse exchange. When we come back to talk about the commercial end, I'm going to go into more detail like the EAT, the exchange accommodation title holder, because we have to take title to either the property that's being acquired or the property that's being sold. The client cannot have title to both. That's just the way the federal government set it up. We don't have enough time to talk about that today because I have a few more slides I have to get through. But just know you can close a purchase first and then close the sale up to 180 days later, just backwards. And that's why it's called a backwards or reverse exchange. Next slide, please. Here's another thing that a lot of people are getting tripped up on, including agents. Can I pay for services out of my sale, out of the equity? Yes, as long as it's a non-recurring, a one-time cost to sell. And here they are. Commissions, escrow, title insurance, transfer taxes, both city and county. How many have ever heard of something called ULA? That's ugly. You can pay for that in here. If you're selling a property in LA, that's over $5 million. They added a zero to the transfer tax for the city. It's insane. It should have been 35,000. It's $350,000. And that's going to court. Trust me. Because I work with enough of these people that they are going to sue the city of Los Angeles for even trying to do something like this. It is absolutely horrific. Anyway, recording fees, 1031 fees, and any contractual agreement between seller and buyer for repair. All of these can be paid for out of the proceeds of the sale without any taxes to the seller. But recurring is another story. And we'll come back another time and talking about that, because things like property taxes, insurance, HOA fees, those are all repairs. Those are all ongoing issues that cannot come from the proceeds of the sale. Next slide, please. Must the replacement property stay the same as the purchase? Everybody gets hooked up on that. I even had an escrow officer call me one time and say, well, the seller sold it as Philip Atwan, but now on the purchase, they're putting Philip A. Atwan. And the answer is, the government doesn't care about the name as much because they don't look at you as a name. You know what they look at you as? A number. And what number are they looking at? Your tax ID number. So really, it's the tax ID number that's selling and buying, because you know you can sell in your trust, and sometimes the lender will make you buy in your names and then put it in the trust. But it's the same taxpayer, same tax ID number. We'll spend more about that next time, but I just want you to know this is an issue. Next, because you know why? People will come up with an LLC and say, yeah, well, I have got one guy, one of the LLC members, and they want to do an exchange and the other one doesn't, or there's three people and not all of them want it. You know what? You can't do that. You know why? You don't own the property. Yeah, sure I do. I have an LLC. Well, you have an LLC that you own, but you set up the LLC so you're not an owner. So when people go to sue, they can't come after you because you're not an owner. Does that make sense? This is a big deal. People are going, how many billboards do you see coming here with attorneys on there who want to sue? Because you've been hurt, right? Be careful. This is a litigious environment that we are in today. Next slide. Oh, that's a scary picture, isn't it? Happy New Year. I can't believe it. I think I made it on time. Maybe 1 minute off. I'm happy to take your phone calls. That's my phone number. That's my email address as well. Don't let the picture scare you. It could give you nightmares at night. I don't know. But I'm so honored and so privileged to be here to share this kind of information. And I can't wait to go back or to come back again for the commercial end that we're going to do. I think we're going to spend like an hour and a half and get into a lot of those details. Anything else? Should we ask questions or we don't have time? Two questions.
Hi, Phil. Good morning. Love your energy and thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And the honor is really ours, isn't it? To have him here.
Sure.
Thank you.
Do you take credit cards?
Venmo. I just have a question for you.
Yes.
What keeps you up at night with all this knowledge that you have? What can you share with us as a resident here in California?
Can I be very honest and truthful about
That's
that?
all
Or
I
you me
want.
to lie?
I want your due diligence with your honesty. Thank you.
The government. Honest to goodness. You do not know what we go through sitting on pins and needles to see what stupid thing they're going to come up with to stick it to people who own property. Do you know why? Why do you think they pick on people who own property? Because they make money. So they should have to pay a lot more. Now, we need government. Government's a good thing, but they've gone too far. That's the truth. That's what keeps me up at night. You're welcome. Anything else? One last question, anybody? You have to go up out here? No? I know. Oh, yes, come on up. You have to go to the mic. There she comes. Just a quick question. No, I'm already married, but thank you anyway.
Thank you, Phil. I was just wondering about the price.
I'm
So,
sorry?
like, the price, should it
For
be?
a 1031?
Yeah, should it? 4,250?
No.
No, if I'm
1,200, not 4,250. No,
Well, if I'm
1,250.
selling my property, my income property and the new property, how much, should it be way up ahead or
Yeah.
way below, or how does? that
Question. You
work?
remember that slide we showed you of the non-recurring closing costs that could pay for out of the proceeds? The sales price minus the one-time non-recurring closing cost equals your new purchase price. As long as you put all the cash into the acquisition, and then of course you're replacing debt payoff. That's important because you're going to pay that off. And it's going to come out of the proceeds of the equity, but you have to do what? Reborrow it or bring in new cash to replace the loan. That's how you get up to sales price minus non-recurring closing costs. They're both are the same. Good question, actually. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Have a prosperous year and a healthy year.
Thank you. And keep applauding. Okay, thank you so much. This is a really wonderful Thursday morning, starting our 2024 to learning most update 1031 exchange. Thank you, Phil. And then we have a little token to show the appreciation from our association. Let's take a photo.
Oh, thank you. Wait a minute. Does that have my wife's name on it? Because she's going to think it's hers.
You can label it. Very nice. Let's continue. You can stay. You can stay. All right. All right. And right now, I need to say that on behalf of the Western Gabriel Valley Realtors, I would like to thank Mr. Phil Atwan for your very informative presentation. Now it's attendance drawing. Today's pot is $75. Blank. That's big. Is how much money? $75. $75. Direct side. Direct side. Direct side. I called you 3 times. You're not here. I'm so sorry. Next week, our pot is $100. Okay. Come here in person. And next, WSGBR store certificate. I need helping. Yeah, Julie. Door 2. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, Phil, you're lucky hand.
Yeah, but I've got one person who's going to be happy and many are going to be upset at me.
Only 2. All right. Please move up. We have a photo, take photo. The Manny Chong from Modern Investment Property. Manny, congratulations. That's the second one. Irene Chu, Pinnacle Real Estate. Come on, let's take a quick photo. Congratulations. Come join our meeting in person, and you were so lucky to win the prize. And at this moment, I would like to share with you, next week, we have total three free classes. Monday, January 22nd, 9:30 to 12:30 p.m. That is a zip form addition training. And Tuesday, January 23rd, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Buyers representation, broker compensation. This is a very interesting topic. And the third one, Wednesday, January 24th, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. CRMS training, agents essentials. And the next one is a paid class, $85 for January 26th, 9:30 a.m. to 12, 45 hours DRE license renewal, continuation education. And at this time, if you submit an announcement form, please come up, make your announcement. Derek?
Hello, everybody. I'll make this quick. So in your program, you saw something about the Lunar New Year. Special Events is doing something kind of different this year. We're also going to do a social media challenge. So everyone, please follow WSGVR on Instagram and Facebook. Submit a picture to Berlin wearing your traditional Lunar Year attire. And on February 8th, we're going to announce the winner. Whoever has the most likes on Instagram and Facebook, it's going to be 2 separate winners. They're going to win a special prize. So please be sure to follow, like, get other people to like it, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. And let's do this. Can you bring your iPhone up? And let's take a photo, scan this QR code. If you have iPhone on hand, let's scan the QR code on the screen and submit the breakfast meeting survey. We want your input. And right now it's a 50-50 raffle. Please.
We put my survey, say get a new speaker.
Oh, yeah, right. How much, Belen, today? $74, and the lucky winning ticket goes to 685 834 834. Thank you so much. Congratulations. That's our Nancy Chan, lawyer's title. Thank you for your always support for the. I would just like to say thank you. Thank you very much. Today we have over 200 attendees. What a nice, incredible crowd you are. I love all of you. Please join us next week as we welcome affiliates panels. It's talk about lenders. Their topic will be 2024, new year, new loan, and the new rate. Thank you everyone for joining our meeting today. Have a wonderful day. The meeting is now adjourned, and we'll see you next Thursday at 9 a.m.